Hey guys, we are live with the Shooter's Mindset episode 311 with Mark Cooper. This week we have our co-host Greg Cannon with us. How's it going, Greg?
Hey everyone.
And the guest of the hour, the infamous Mark Cooper. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing good, doing good. Glad to have you on here. The king of 308. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But for those that are unfamiliar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into competitive shooting.
I live right here at K&M. I'm from Finger, Tennessee. I've lived here, born and raised. I just met Shannon through a business arrangement and kind of hung out a little bit while I was there and started shooting. I bought me a Ruger Precision and just thought I'd try it out and see if I would like it or not. And then the first 6 weeks, I actually had shot the barrel out. I shot it so much. And so he pulled a string for me, got a good friend of mine, George Gardner, to build me my first built rifle. He built me a 6.5 47, and I have been shooting ever since. I absolutely love it, and I hope to continue shooting as long as I'm able.
That sounds good. I think all of us want to keep shooting.
What I would give to live within driving distance of K&M.
Yeah.
You say that, and I hear a lot of guys say the same thing, but after you have loaded, my first year with that rifle, I shot over 30,000 rounds, and I loaded every single one of those bullets. And
that is
when you've done that, you would wish that you didn't live that close to K&M.
That is a lot of freaking ammo.
That's a lot. I am whining about when I have to load 300 for a match, so I cannot imagine doing 30,000. I would, yeah. No, I'd have to shoot factory all the time. Which prime ammo, I can shoot that. I'm shooting that at Gap Grind. So with having loaded all that ammo, what made you decide to want to shoot 308 over all the other 6mm variants out there that you could choose? Did you start in TAC class, or did you start with something else and then go to TAC?
I didn't. I started, like I said, my first match was with that the 6.5 47. But at the end of the year last year, which let me go back, that all last year I shot for Bushnell. I was an ambassador for them on the Bushnell team. And at the end of the season last year, George came to me and he was just like, hey, man, we're looking to add somebody else to the team. And he thought that I would be a good fit. And I couldn't figure out why. Maybe it's because I could drink a case of beer and still walk a straight line. You know, I think that was one of the stipulations to joining the team at the time. And but after I had got on the team, he said that he got to throwing around the idea that they were going to look for a 308 or a tactical shooter. Charles Roberts, my man, he's been shooting all last year. And I think he just wanted to give a shot at the Open, you know, since the AG series had come in. He wanted to take a shot at that and see if he couldn't get out there and get some of that money. And so I was just talking to George, you know, spitballing, whatever, you know, what's the deal? What's the stipulations? You know, well, Hornady's going to back you or back the shooter or whatever. And they'll provide your bullets and your brass. And, you know, and of course, George is going to build the rifles and stuff. And I knew that they come out with a new 176 8-tip. And I'm just, you know, you shoot 30,000 or roughly rounds a year, free bullets, free brass starts to sound real good. And especially the 176, the 8-tips. And so they set me up. They sent me a bunch. George actually took my 47 and put a 308 barrel on it. And it weighed about 13, 14 pounds. And I took it to the Accuracy International match this spring in Florida. And it kicked the living crap out of me. I didn't see 5 impacts the whole match, and I just went to George. Was like, man, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to get a 223, or I'm gonna have to get, you know, something. I'm gonna have to, you know, get somebody I can, because whatever we can use, you tote. I'm going to start toting George up there, strapping the rifle to him. That way I move it around as one. Keep something to, keep the weight down. But then the week before the Collis match, he actually brought me a new rifle. He brought me the 308 that I have now. And then about the same time as when I got my A-tips in, and man, that is the most accurate, most incredible rifle I have ever shot. I can outshoot with that rifle than any 6mm or 6.5 I've ever shot. Just a grouping. I can put 3 shots early in the morning at Shannon's little 1 MOA target, 1,200 yards, and just stack them in there. I've never seen anything like it. And so when you got George's rifle and those A-tips, it's unbelievable. And so, and like I said, with Hornady paying for everything and being such a great sponsor and stuff, I'm like, I'm at this point, I don't want to shoot anything else. And honestly, as long as they're fine with it and they like what's going on and everything, I plan to shoot tactical again next year.
So that Collis match, is that the one that you came in second?
Yes, ma'am, it is actually.
Shooting tack came in second out of all those shooters.
Yeah.
I think everybody was like, good Lord.
Yeah, that was freaking impressive.
Yeah, I actually was, it didn't even hit me what was going on until my very last stage. And I will say this, that I only had that rifle for 7 days. George sent me that rifle the Friday before the Collis matches. So I put 300 rounds on it that week. And I found a speed that it really liked to be at, where I had a really good powder node. And I seeded the bullets out. Like I found my lands and just seeded them like 10 or 15 thousandths off the lands. I was like, hey, crap, I'll run this. I ran to K&M real quick. I was going to check my data and everything. And I got out there and they wouldn't fit in my magazine. They were too long. And so I was hand feeding them in there one at a time. And I'm like, man, that's pretty stupid. I can't go to a PRS match and hand feed each round. And so I went back to the house and I just seeded them down just long enough that they would fit in the magazine. And that's how I did my load development actually for that rifle. And,
if it fits, it ships.
The first time I ever actually practiced a barricade, the first time I ever practiced the barricade or anything with it was the Friday, the train-up day at K&M. I did shoot my data out Thursday morning, but I practiced with it Friday at the train-up day and then went and shot Saturday. But at the match, my teammate Charles Roberts was in the squad with me, and he's like, dude, I don't think you realize what you're about to do. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He said, you've got one more stage to go, and you've dropped 10 points out of a 200-round match with a 308. And thank you, Charles Roberts. I really appreciate you telling me that, because I probably could have won that match, maybe. Yes, no, I'll give it to you, Ken. You did a good job. But when he told me that, I actually dropped 2 shots in the modified prone out of that helicopter at the,
because your hands were probably doing this
10 or 12 times, whatever it was. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And I was just like, there's no way. And like, I'm just thinking in the back of my mind the whole time, and I can hear Charles in the background talking while I'm shooting too. And but I'm not saying that he's the reason why. It's just it never clicked with me what was going on until that time. Man, I've said it 100 times. I swear up and down, it's luck. Everybody has their day. There's guys that go out there. Shannon Kay went to the Missouri match first day out. He was beating everybody by like 10 points. Greg Holloway, this last match at Alabama, his first day, and he was leading by like 6 or 8 points. I mean, everybody has their day or whatever. And I've said that to the Okie boys, but every one of them are like, dude, luck is something that could or couldn't happen. The fact that you only dropped 12 points over a 2-day precision rifle match with the stacked field that we had at that match, that wasn't luck. That's something else. And so I'm not going to play the lottery because I believe I used all my good luck then. And so I'm not going to waste no time trying to do something else.
Greg, you got any questions or comments?
We got a lot of shout outs. John Landless says, my man. Alan says, hey all, good day from down
He
under.
is actually going to be he is my amateur for the Gap Grind next weekend.
Oh, nice. He's got a good coach. Keith Baker said, "Super Tac Man." The Precision Rifle series said, "Oh hell, he made it! Hey, my man." Mike Bell said, "That's where all the primers went through."
Thanks, Christy. Love you too.
Matt said that Henderson Wi-Fi. Hey, he's got a better connection than Anthony, so we'll give him that. Michael said, because it's the Lord's caliber. Christy said, "Hey, Mark, my favorite tack shooter." Gerald said, "What's up, Turf Man?" George Gardner says, "What is the proper way to use a primer flip tray?"
My man's got jokes. I love him to death.
I feel like there's a story there that you
story,
should tell.
Yeah, for those of you that catch this later on the podcast, there was an extended
right
middle
before
finger.
the Missouri match, he asked me to come up a few days before the match and stay at the grind, or the what do you call this? Yeah, the gap range. Sorry, mind folks. And they was in there, and they had these little green trays, and they were putting primer. They told me, like, put the primer on here, and I'm like, the hell am I putting this on there for? What am I going to do with it? And everybody in the room kind of turned and looked at me like, "Are you being serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, what is this?" And so they showed me, you put it on here, and they're like, "Shake it." I'm like, "What the hell am I shaking this little green tray?" So I start shaking with it, and the damnedest thing happened. The primer started turning over. And I'm like, "You got to be shitting me." And so what I do at my house is I take the Federal box, I turn it upside down and pull it out on the thing, and I poke the ones that are turned over, and then I take my hands and flip them all over. And so, yes, that's 80, 90, 100,000 primers I've done. I've loaded every single one of them, flipping them over with my finger.
Oh, Lord. George, I love you, man.
George always has the best questions.
Let me breathe.
Yeah, us Tennessee people, we don't get out.
Wade, our neighbor from the Alabama hotel, said, "What's up, Greg and Jen?" Rusty said, "Greg, looking forward to seeing you this weekend at my NRL 22 match." By the way, if you're near Augusta, Georgia, any place, I'm hosting an NRL 22 match this Saturday at Pine Tucky Gun Club. Check out Pine Tucky NRL 22 on Facebook. Also, he wants to know, Jen, are you going to make the match?
Maybe.
She said, maybe.
I'll decide Saturday morning.
That is the most Jen thing I've heard today. Steven wants to know how much your current 308 rifle weighs.
A lot. 24, 25 pounds, maybe.
Oh, that is a difference.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's like a small child.
And that's without the little cheater plate thing that some guys do.
Do you got the fancy one with the brass weights inside of it too?
I do, actually. I do. It's pretty awesome.
So we have like a $400 cheater plate, but not a primer flip tray.
Yeah.
So how do you enjoy the Federal match in Alabama?
Oh man, that thing was awesome.
That was a
yeah, man, that was a good time. We had a little stage there that I don't think very many people liked, but
let me guess.
You had to shoot a KYL backwards. You couldn't move on until you shot them. And so some of the really good shooters got zeros. Mr. K. Shannon K, that is.
That even though he was using my win call.
Yeah, all right. It was pretty tough. Honestly, it took me a few shots to get it too, but you know, when your bullet is actually as big as the target you're shooting at, you know, it kind of helps a little bit, you know, to get that first impact.
Cheater.
No, man, Jim's a good buddy of mine, man. Me and him talk a lot, and I've been down there actually several times looking at his place, and we go around and he shows me the, you know, behind the scenes and what's downrange and stuff a lot of people don't get to see. And what actually goes into it. And Jim really puts his heart and soul into the match. You know, he really likes it. He likes what he does. He likes, putting matches on for shooters. He likes, making it competitive. And, he has a business. I think most of his business are in from Birmingham. He does the cigar thing. And so the fact that he takes out so much time to ensure a good match and stuff, I think that speaks volume. But we had a really good course of fire. We had a good group of dudes show up. Like I said, Greg Holloway, man, he kind of blew us away on that first day. He was, I actually shot in the same squad as him. And I'm like, at the end of the day, they was talking about how many you dropped, this and that, whatever. And I'm like, dude, you only dropped 6. Are you serious? I thought he was lying. I ain't gonna be honest. I thought he was lying or whatever. But we saw the scores at the end of the day, and I'm like, dang, and Greg stepped his game up and kind of put a whooping on all of us. And so we actually kind of just cheered him on, the whole second day. Everybody in the squad kind of got behind him and, just kind of helped out. And, man, we had a really good time. I love shooting up there. I love the courses of fire. I love how the terrain and stuff's laid out. And, man, I can't wait for the next one. I think they're actually having the Southeastern finale is going to be there the weekend before Halloween. And so I'll actually get to go back down there one more time this year.
I think so. That was a fun match. I really enjoyed it. I'd never been to Alabama. I've only been doing PRS for, I guess this is my 3rd year, but the first 2 years, every time they had a match, it was like one of my kids had something, or for some reason I couldn't go. I had to work something. So it just didn't work out to get out there. So this year I was like, I am going to go to Alabama. I've not been to that range. I haven't been to one of Jim's matches. So I really wanted to go. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it, except the KYL stage. And Jim was standing right there when I shot it. And I was like, I don't like you very much.
Man, and a lot of that had to do with the wind, because Mr. Shannon K, who got on that stage after I was prep. That's the first stage I've ever walked on. I'm like, woo! I got a 3. Yeah, 3, baby. And
that was a good score on that stage.
That was a great score. We were shooting with some really good shooters, and like after the stage, like, all right, Greg, you got a 3. Yeah. But,
and it was funny because that first target was so small, and I get down there and I did what I thought for wind, and I can't remember exactly, but it's like I missed it. It looked like I missed off right, so I held a little bit more left, and then I missed the same spot off right, and so then I held a little bit more left, and then I missed off like it wasn't working out for me. And so Shannon was on glass when I was shooting, and he's like, what were you doing? You kept hitting the same spot. I'm like, I was adjusting though. I was like, right, center, left, but the way that it was so small, it was so hard to tell exactly where I was missing because the berm was kind of far back from it. It wasn't directly right behind it. So, I was like, well, I think I'm missing there, but it's really hard to tell. And so he's like, you just kept doing the same thing. I'm like, no, I swear I was trying to adjust, and I just never could make it. And so then he got up there, and the rest is history on his. But I was like, yeah.
So what you were seeing through glass is like literally this is the target, and you miss an inch off of right, and you see a splash. This is your splash, and so you can't tell if that was left or right.
It was just hard to tell if it went over it, and I don't know. I just had a hard time figuring out what. But I tried a little bit farther this way and a little bit farther this way, and yeah, it just didn't work out for me. But yeah, Shannon was like, what were you doing? And I'm like, I was trying. And then Shannon got up there right behind us. So it was funny. I don't want to do that stage again. It wasn't very fun.
Yeah, Jim, if you're watching, I enjoyed every stage besides for that one. We should not do that again.
I thought it was a good match. So it had a lot of different things. I mean, it had the
Yes.
one stage that you had to run. It had the boat. It had movers. It just had a lot. Every stage was different. I liked it a lot. It was a good.
Yeah, it was a good balance of everything. It wasn't one of those where there was like 17 offhand stages or everything was barricade, everything was prone. It was a good mix of everything. It was a very, 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 very fun match. And that was literally the only stage I didn't like.
So, Mark, my friend Corey Adamski from Florida, he has a question for you. You know, he shoots 308 too.
Not quite as good, though.
And so he says, his question is, can I ask why he beats me like a 3-year-old child at matches?
Well, I've never beat a 3-year-old child, so I'm not sure how that would go. Man, I'll tell you, I do a lot of practicing, obviously. I've got, since that rifle George gave me, back in right before the Colossus match, I've got over 5,000 rounds on it now, not to mention a GT that he gave me at the Kansas match, and I shot that barrel almost completely out. Now, by the way, George, I need another barrel, my man.
Me too.
But what I do, man, is I do things a little bit differently maybe than a lot of people do. When I go to the range, I go with a plan. That's kind of when, if the students we had this past weekend at K&M, we tell them when you go to the range, full set in mind for that day. Don't go up there and try to fix your whole, your shooting at one time, because then you're not going to get anything done. So, for instance, I'll go and I'll work for an entire week on trigger control. I'm telling myself out loud, so I sound like an idiot, but so I can hear it, and I'm thinking over and over, squeeze the trigger, or, get up there, relax, breathe, squeeze, and then I go up there at another time and I'm working on simply seeing my impacts, do nothing else. And so when I'm actually training, I actually train on like 8 power, everything. I'll put like a 1 MOA target at 500 or 600 yards, and I put it on 8 power. And if you ever look through a scope on 8 power, everything is little. And so, but at the same time, you're having to find a certain spot on that target that you're, to aim at. Because if you don't, you're going to, a 1 MOA target on 8 power, you're going to blow it. And you don't just work all day or that 1 week, on seeing your impacts, not only seeing where you miss them, but seeing where you hit them on the target, because it's just as important to know where you hit it on that target as you do when you miss it. And, just, man, fundamentals. You have to work on your fundamentals all the time. I know, trying not to beat a dead horse with a stick, but, if your fundamentals are garbage, then there's no sense in doing anything else. If you can't hold a half or a quarter MOA, impact at 100 yards, how can you go and shoot a half or a half MOA target or 1 MOA target at 1,000? If you can't do it at 100, you sure can't do it at 1,000. Whatever you see at 100, you're going to see it at 1,000. If you shoot 10 shots in a row at 10 different dots at 100, and most of them you're a half a tenth or a tenth right, I'm willing to bet you all the money in the world when you go straight to $1,000, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see everything going to the right or going off the right. So I do a lot of work at 100. I believe that's just something that I do. My very first class, my only class I've ever taken, Shannon gave me a free class because of some work that I had done for him. We kind of traded out on it. And I took everything that I did, that he taught me when he did, to heart. And by the way, no, I'm not giving Shannon K the credit for my shooting, all that, but, he kind of helped with my foundation a little bit. I will say that.
That's funny. So basically what you're saying is that we need to practice.
So like those dry fire things, like the beautiful brand new one right behind Jen, you're supposed to do something with those besides for put them up behind you in a show? Maybe?
I'm ignoring you.
All right, let's hit some live real quick. We got some good ones in here. Christy wants to know if you want to have where'd it go? Oh gosh, hold on, pause commenting. Christy wants to know if you have any advice that you'd like to give Matt Steiner.
My man, Actually, no. I don't want to help him at all. He has swapped over to TAC class, and so no, I don't want to give him no pointers at all. But I did see where, and of course, a lot of the guys like to rag me and stuff and talk about Matt and how he's come to TAC class and he's going to come and he's shooting for me or whatever. Man, I hope he does. I don't hope he beats me. Let me get that out there. But I do. I'm glad to see other guys. I'm glad to see good shooters coming over to TAC class. As I kid around with Mr. John Sneed all the time. Man, I don't know if y'all know John Sneed, but that is
I know John Sneed.
The man. I think the world of him. John, if you're watching, man, I love you to death, dude. You're a great man. If you ever need anything, let me know. But me and him kid around a lot about each other. We shooting, the 308s and whatever. And sometimes he sees us, we're doing better than some of the, the good guys that are shooting 6mm. They may have had a bad match or whatever. And the thing is we talk to each other about is they're shooting their little Red Ryder BB guns and we're over here shooting cannons, And so maybe they need to put the girl toys away and come get a big boy gun and come shoot with us. And man, the fact that Matt Steiner has actually done that, he answered the call. I wish the very best for him. I'm glad to see that he won the Michigan match. Matt, I hope you don't win any more than that, but I'm glad that you won one, But I like having competition. And when I first started, my goal this year was to be the top tactical shooter. Because I told George and I told the guys at Hornady and Bushnell, I was like, guys, I will be the #1 tac shooter in the country. And I'm going to keep working at it until I can be that guy. But ever since the Collis match, I actually saw that, it's possible that a tac shooter could actually be more than just a top tactical shooter. A tac shooter could actually be a champion. I'm not saying I'm going to be that guy, but, it can be possible. And I would love nothing more than to see, the classes divide. I would love to see as many in TAC class shooting, as, the guys are in open. So,
My very first match, I shot
people thinking they're
308.
funny, keep texting me stuff.
Now, welcome to our world. Everybody's always like, why are you looking at your phone? I'm like, because people are like sending me questions and texting and sending memes to try and make me laugh on the show, Brian Hay. And
Yeah. I don't think I can show you or tell you what they're sending me. So that wouldn't be very nice.
Oh, don't tell me you have. Never mind. So anyway, we're speaking to John Sneed. John Sneed is watching, and he has a question. He wants to know if you have any advice for old people that shoot 308s.
I do. I think for John Sneed to be a better shooter as an old man, what he first needs to do is take his knowledge that he has and put it into a younger up and coming tactical shooter that could definitely take what he's got, because he shot an entire year with his scope on 0. I don't know if y'all knew that, but he shot an entire year with his scope on 0 and he held over every single target that he shot for an entire year. And so maybe if he was to get with, a certain shooter from Tennessee, young guy, whatever, and teach him what he knows, maybe he would come up with something for him to learn too. Maybe they could work together.
That sounds like a really good plan.
hey, my very first match, I was scared to dial. And so I held over the whole match. And I was shooting a 308 gas gun, an AR-10 that was borrowed. I wanted to shoot, so.
What?
You got another question, Greg? It looks like you got one on the tip of your tongue.
Oh, no, I'm reading.
I do have an honest question from Corey. So he wanted to know about you beating him, but he did want to know, and you kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier. So, where did it go? He wants to know if you think the A-tips provide a significant advantage to other 308 bullets like SMK, RDF, or hybrids. Is it worth the cost difference?
Okay. Yes and no. I guess you could say that way. I would have said yes. I would have said no. before then, because I'm a cheapskate. I'm still cheap, by the way, and I wouldn't have thought that a bullet would have made that big a difference. They got so many other good bullets out there. Hornady still makes another great bullet, the ELDMs. And so before I got them, I would have said absolutely not. I mean, that's crazy, spending, that much money from there. But once you get them and you get a load, and obviously I explained earlier what my load development process was, is I got enough powder that I stayed underneath my 2,800 feet per second limit, and I seated the bullet out just enough that it would fit in the magazine. I mean, that was all the load development that I'd done. And I shoot, and I'll go to these matches with the guys that are running dashers and GTs and BRAs and maybe not the Creedmoor guys and the XC guys, because they're running like 3,000 plus feet per second. But anybody that's running 2,800, 2,850, 2,900, my wind is the exact same as theirs. And so I see that as a 100% advantage. When you really think about all the money that we spend in this sport, the reloading process, the rifle itself, the optics, the traveling, and the match fees and the food and the hotels, all that we put into it, the one place that you're going to skimp is on the bullets. And the bullet is actually the whole reason that you're there. And so I would skip out on food. I would turn that steak dinner away, and I'll eat a bologna sandwich and shoot the A-tips before I would shoot any other bullet and go to a nice restaurant. Hornady has absolutely sold me on those A-tips. I know I may sound like, a Hornady rep here trying to sell the world some A-tips, but guys, if y'all don't want to buy the A-tips, that's completely fine, man. That's just more for them to send me, and I'll shoot the crap out of them because I love them. They're awesome. And like I said, the BC is incredible. They fly great. They're accurate as crap. And also it's kind of cheating a little bit in a way. If you'll ever get with a guy, especially a 308 guy shooting those A-tips, it leaves like a nice little shiny spot on the target when you hit it. Now, if you miss it, Matt Steiner, it doesn't help any. But if you hit it, then it'll actually leave a nice little spot on there for you. My man. Woo. He's going to write me on that one later.
I texted him and told him he got mentioned on the show because he texted me, I don't know, like 5 days ago or something, and was like, I just found out I was mentioned on your show. Y'all were talking about my hair. I said, yep, I didn't bring it up.
That is hilarious.
Allison Zane did.
All right, so a question, we'll all three answer this one. If you were going to shoot TAC class, would you pick 223 or 308? My choice would be 308 because out at forever and a half away, the 223 is going to be really hard to spot. How about you, Jen?
I'd shoot 308. I shot 308 at the gap grind. I might have had to steal Paul Reed's elbow pads because my elbows were killing me, but I shot it and I didn't complain the whole time.
Mark, I can take a wild guess at your answer, but what would it be?
Well, it actually depends on the shooter. If you got a kid or a small person, I would probably shoot a 223 because, I mean, the first thing you don't want to do is get a kid or a small build person on a 308 and have it knock the crap out of them. I mean, that's a great way to send the shooter packing, But other than that, then definitely a 308 is the way to go. Definitely. I mean, you get more downrange info. You see more splash. You on target. You see exactly where you're on misses. If you're laying on down in the prone or whatever, and you're shooting a long distance, and you got a heavy mirage, especially like during the summertime at K&M, it's terrible down on that 1200 because you're just flat, and it's just got heavy mirage, and I can't see with a 6mm where my bullets are going. If I'm hitting it, if I'm missing, I can't see, much less a 223. And so, no, I'm definitely 308 all the way.
We need to do discount corner.
Ooh, we should do that. Let me click on that page.
I'll start. You can get 10% off at carbonarms.us for shotgun shell caddies with TSM 10, and you can get 10% off at Under Industries off of great jerseys. They're veteran owned business, so support them. And they have great jerseys, hoodies, arm sleeves. They have all kinds of stuff, jackets, whatever you want. He pretty much would put it on whatever you want. So he's been making face masks. You can get all your sponsors on a face mask. What you got, Greg?
I have the code Mindset10 in all caps. Will save you 10% off of all PhoneScope products.
Mark, do you have any discounts? Southern Cerakote?
This is my buddy Kent Russ in Southern Sarasota. If you mention that you saw that on this show, you will get 50% off. Matter of fact, we'll do 75% off any Cerakote job that you bring in. How about that?
Woo! Does he do lime green?
Does he know you just did that?
Woo! He does now.
Oh,
Woo!
that's hilarious.
No, he's a good buddy of mine. He's from right up the road here. He's a big F-class shooter. He actually was the amateur last year that won the Gap Grind. He's a good friend of mine, and him and Hunter Sox shot together last year. And since then, he's really gotten into the PRS and getting into this kind of shooting. And so he actually has went out and bought us a travel bus. It's kind of like the little buses, retirement home people drive you around in. Oh yeah.
Wait, was that your bus?
And so we got a bunch of guys from up in. Do what?
Said, is that your bus? Why you drive so slow?
Was that bus at Alabama?
Yes, that is our bus.
Y'all drive real
Yes,
slow.
that was it. And so, but we always drive down together. Got a bunch of good buddies from up in Madonna. Parrish Turner, Kevin, Rich, Doug, Brad, all you guys, love y'all. But we all load up and go down there. Man, it makes for a real good time down there.
That's hilarious. We saw that bus and we were like, and that's what we thought too. We're like, the old folks home is bringing people. Actually, here in Augusta,
This is no lie. We actually had we pulled up to a gas station in Indiana. We went and shot the Redbrush match up there, and this old lady come out at the gas station. She said, "Are y'all singing karaoke?" And we kind of looked at karaoke. Yeah, don't that say Southern karaoke? I'm like, "No, ma'am, it does." She said, "Well, I thought that's karaoke. I was about to get in the bus with you." I was like, "Wow."
that is hilarious. There, here in Augusta, I was at the gun range, I don't know, about a year ago. And there was legit a bus from the retirement home that brought a bunch of older people to come and shoot. I thought it was very cute.
Oh, that's scary.
It was very cute. But you should totally turn it into a party bus. Like, they have little party buses that are off of that. Like they tint the windows and put the lights in there. They have like coolers in there, and you could have a party bus. Y'all would be the most popular at the match.
Jenny, there it is.
Jen, you think we could get Anthony to buy us a bus?
Maybe. After he buys good internet.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you, you need to make it be a party bus.
Put some blue LED lights in there.
The bus.
That would be so funny.
Right? I would just be happy with an air conditioner that doesn't leak.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. But you need to start sprucing it up. That would be funny.
So, lots of people say that training with a 308 will make you a better wind reader because you're more accurate with your wind calls. So, a lot of people at 6mm go train with 308. Do you train with like a 12 gauge slug gun or something? Or what do you do when you want more wind?
No, actually. we don't really have much wind here, like ever. So I don't ever do any wind training actually, because it's seriously, it's like 5 miles an hour is the most wind it ever gets here.
With your 308, did you see any switchy winds in Alabama at all, or was it just like edge to edge?
No, there was a few times that it did switch back and forth. I don't think that it affected me as much as it did like a lot of the 6mm guys. I guess that they kind of, blew theirs around a little bit more. Mine because I think a lot of those guys that told me they were running like a high 260s, 270s, something like that. I'm running a 290 BC G7 with those A-tips, and man, I mean, they work awesome. I mean, they cut through the wind all over. Oh, here it is. He did get us a new bus. So that's the new party bus.
Oh,
Damn.
you got a whole new bus? When am I getting invited?
We just asked for like some blue LED lights and some window tint. Let's go. You gonna have it at Gap Grind? We're just gonna walk up on the bus.
I don't know. I can try and have him be there. He actually lives just like a couple of minutes up the road.
Wait, he won it last year. He has to come this year, right?
Oh, he is shooting. No, he's shooting as a pro this year.
Say he better after winning it last year.
That's right. Got to come back. Now he needs to win the pro. See, he won the AM side. Now he needs to win the pro side. Goals. Life goals. All right, what's next, Greg?
I don't know if Brian Sykes sit here the most.
Brian Sykes, what?
Brian Sykes he's texted me a couple times. Brian Sykes has texted me a couple times here talking and stuff. That is a great dude. Like, I don't know how well y'all know Brian Sykes. That's the best dude in the PRS. He actually had like a neck and shoulder surgery done a little while ago, and he's kind of been out of the game, man. And I'm really hoping he comes back in there, and he can come back and shoot with us. Dude, I really miss that guy coming. I think he's actually going to he's going to show up to the Gap Grind too and see it. Oh, by the way, if anybody ain't doing anything next weekend, I think Julie K could use a few extra hands, maybe some ROs. You get to come out and shoot the day before, that Friday, the turn-up day. You get to shoot. You get to be, bosses all the next day, pretty much boss all the shooters around. Women, y'all are good at that. Come on.
That's the truth.
I know Brian's going to be there because on that post asking for ROs, he said he's going to be driving around throwing water bottles at people.
Yeah. And if you've never RO'd a PRS match, so it's like the fun of going to a match without the stress of trying to do good at the match, without the expense of buying ammo. If you've never shot a match, you're still welcome to come RO. I actually RO'd a match before I shot my first match. And it was a great experience. Plus, at the Gap Grind, if you RO, you are going to get hooked the F up. I mean, I'm talking food, lodging, prizes, giveaways. Like, if you got to work that weekend, unless you make a lot of money, you're probably better off ROing than going to work. Plus, you get to hang out with us.
Yeah, actually, Tom Manners and Robert Brantley from Manners Stocks, we actually do a thing on the GA team that we donate our last year's or our old stocks or whatever they are to new shooters, new up and comers that don't have the equipment or that could use it. And so we all are actually chipping in our old stocks. The one that the stock that I had at the Accuracy International match, I'm actually giving it away to a good shooter or a new shooter. And so I wish we could do more, stuff like this, so we could get more shooters involved in it. I wish the new guys could actually see how much we want this sport to grow, and we want them to be a part of our community. we give each other hell all the time. We talk crap and pick on each other, just like, me and Matt Stein or whatever. Man, I think the world of you, man. Have no hard feelings whatsoever. If you beat me, I'm going to be pissed. But dude, that ain't on you, man. I expect you to bring your A game, and I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to bring you mine. That way, if you beat me, you're going to have to earn it, and if I beat you, I want to have to earn it. But at the end of the day, man, we'll go and we can have a drink, and we can hang out and go out to dinner and stuff. And I know that if he needs to know that, man, if there's anything he needs or anybody, any shooter out there, give us a call. The whole GA team, man, they're all just like that, dude. I have never been more welcomed in this sport than I have been by that team. They're really awesome people too. And if you screw up or say something stupid that you're not supposed to, they will correct you pretty damn quick. So just know that. So you gotta have some thick skin. But at the same time, you could pick that phone up and I know they'd be there in an instant, just like Brian Sykes with that surgery. All he has to do is call me and I will get there as fast as I can. But, and I want a lot of other new shooters, to come and join us, join the community and see what this is about. We got professional athletes out there acting like complete assholes right now. Can I say assholes?
You can say assholes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, assholes. Well, they're acting like complete assholes. And so I actually shared like a little meme, I guess they call them the other day. All the basketball players and stuff from Neyland said Black Lives Matters, all this, which Black lives do matter. All lives matter as far as I'm concerned. But they said that they weren't going to stand for the national anthem. Well, then below it had another picture of like some guys doing a ceremony for some guys that died in Iraq. And he said, it's okay. It wasn't meant to be played for you pussies anyways. And I completely believe that, and so you've got these, $1 million athletes out there acting like assholes that these kids are looking up to, thinking that, this is how you're supposed to act. This is what sports and stuff are about. No, that's what idiots are about. Come to the shooting community. We all hang out. We do anything. We teach, we train, we try to bring each other up. The young kids, man, they started, the NRL started it. And now Shannon with the PRS has really kicked off a big season. I think next year it's going to be absolutely huge. The Rimfire series. And actually we were talking before we went live here. I'm going to have a rifle built for my kids. I've got an 8-year-old and 11-year-old, and I want them to be a part of it. They want to come to matches. And, we need more family time spent together as well. And why not? Why can't our family time be spent together, shooting guns? Why does it got to be sitting around watching baseball players, football, basketball players, NASCAR drivers all want to be assholes or whatever? Why can't we, get into a sport that the whole family can, get in together, go stay in a hotel, spend the weekend with your kids, let your kids shoot. Okay. Us as parents, maybe we don't shoot this time. We'll let our kids. We'll take it and make it about them. We'll take a vacation, just like this year. I'm hoping to take my family to the fall Florida match, and we're gonna stay at the beach and stuff for a couple of days. And I'm gonna leave them at the beach, and I'm gonna go up with some buddies and stuff and shoot the match. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna come back and be with my family. And we need to do more of that. We need to get the kids involved, get them, show them that, this liberal crap that our society is getting into is, we don't have to, that is not the new normal. That's not going to be the normal for my family. We believe in God, we believe in bullets, and we believe in Jack Daniels. And we love all of them, and we're going to keep supporting all of them. And, man, I just think we need to get right. We need some Jesus. We need more bullets. We need some more primers. Hodgkins, my man, I need you to step up. Federal.
Definitely.
Jason Crowley, dude, we need some primers. Let's go.
Look, he almost got jumped in Alabama when he showed up with all those primers. Everybody's like, primers? There's primers?
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, right.
I told him, I was like, you're going to get robbed. Half of those are mine.
Haven't paid me yet? I will fight you. Oh shit, I'm about to die. I'm just kidding. Attention America. Half of these primers are Jennifer's. We got a couple live here. First off, Kent confirmed that the new bus has a couch, a TV, a karaoke machine, and plenty of coolers. He wants to know how much we want to party.
Will it be at Gap Grind?
Will it be at Gap Grind, Kent? Will the bus be at Gap Grind? Because we are
And
ready.
is Jen invited?
I'm pretty sure we're invited. Let's see. Kent, are we invited? And will it be at Gap Grind? Because
I didn't say you. I said me. I don't care if you're invited.
we carpool, homie. I ain't walking back an hour to the house.
It's going to be my car. Life is rough. I'm in charge. I'm driving to that match, so we're partying with the Kent. It's settled.
And Allison wants to know, what kind of a brake do you run on your 308? Or should I say the Allison wants to know?
I run a American Prison Arms Fatty B.
Fatty B. I can't remember what she runs.
My good buddy Craig Cornez from Area 419, and we've been talking about maybe trying a Maverick on there. But I've had several people tell me, it's the way that my rifle is shooting right now. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not touching.
Yeah, I wouldn't change
I still have
anything.
not taken a break. I haven't taken a break off the end of the rifle yet to clean it. I'll clean it with it on there. Like we're not touching that.
I don't blame you. It's kind of been on fire this year. I think I'd leave it be if I was you too. I think I would definitely. How long will that 308 barrel last? Forever compared to a 6.
That is a good question for George Gardner.
Well, you said something before about like 3,000 rounds or some crap like that.
Well, I've got 5 on mine right now, and it's still hammering. I've actually got Bartline is bringing me another barrel to the Gap Grind, and I'm going to send one of my rifle. I'm probably going to send my GT with him and just put it on there because, like I said, I don't want to touch my 308 right now. But if I see if I see it start to lose speed or something like that, then I definitely have another rifle I can go to. I'm hoping that this rifle will continue to last me through the finale.
I always think it's so cute when everybody's like, I have another rifle. Or they'll be like, Jen, what rifle are you shooting at this match? And I'm like, my only one.
You own 2 rifles.
I do. Well, that action is not where I need it to be, though. It's not. And it's not functional at the moment.
I don't know. That was one of my favorite moments because, I still remember a female youth shooter in a match. It was actually the match that I was ROing. It was my second match I've been to. First one I participated in as an RO. And a female youth shooter's rifle went down, and someone was like, I got 3 people were like, I have a backup rifle with 300 rounds of ammo. Here you go. And I was like, man, one day I hope I could be that person to be able to give back. And when I was able to get this beautiful beauty right behind me built, I now have a fully functional backup rifle that I bring with 200 to 300 rounds every match. And it's the greatest feeling to know that if someone's rifle goes down, I can
Who was the first person to use a backup that you had?
Me.
Oh, that was funny. It wasn't funny, but
that was not funny. That was 3 rounds into a brand new rifle, and it blew up.
But you had a backup, so all was good.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Sykes said, I bet money you'll be able to ride that stick all the way through the finale. Talking about barrel life and all.
Oh,
my man.
He's watching. So how much live fire versus dry fire do you do in practice?
Dry fire, I do 1%, and live fire, 99%.
I'd probably do the same if I was rich and lived close to K&M.
Yeah, if I had the ammo, I would do it.
Yeah, it gets It used to, it was like really about an expense thing, but now because of how great, like I said, Hornady has been for me, they donate the bullets and stuff for my 308. It's really not so much about the expense. It's about the time that I spend down there. By the time you clean your brass, anneal it, size it, trim it, and whatever crap else you're supposed to do to that. Shake the primer thing, but you don't shake, you just flip it over. The time you do that and you put a powder and seat the bullets and all that, dude, man, I spend at least an hour and a half to 2 hours every single night in my reloading room. It gets old.
I can imagine. That's a lot of ammo to load. Good Lord. So how many rounds do you think you shoot in a year now? I know you said first year was like 30,000.
No. I'd say I've shot maybe 10 or 12 this year.
You got to keep
I've
a
slacked off
tally
a lot.
just for the heck of it, just to see like at the end of the year how many you shot.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Well, this year it's been a little bit different. Work schedule's been kind of crazy. And so I haven't been able to do, needless to say, my business kind of suffered the first 2 years that I took this sport on, because I kind of neglected it and I was consumed by this sport. And so, with the help of Jesus and my wife's boot, we're now back on the straight and narrow, and our business is up and running, doing good.
That's good. Mike Bell wants to know, all that reloading, what press do you use?
Oh, I got a new one. Thanks to, okay, I call her Kokomo. I don't know how you say her name. Her name's Lori
Cucaruda,
something. Kokomo.
Jenga Master.
otherwise known as the Jenga Master.
Yeah, I call her Kokomo. She got me a RCBS Rebel. So it's basically like the other RCBS ones, but they finally drilled that pesky little hole in the bottom of it. That way, whenever you push the primer out, it falls straight through, down into a trash can. Because it was falling on these little trays, and after you do about 50 of them, these large primers, after you do about 50 of them, they start overflowing into the floor. And so she's got me one of those. I've actually got two of. I've got that one, and then I've got a. I can't think of what the original one was. The original RCBS. I've got it set up
Rock
for my
chucker.
cedar, and so I don't have to. Yes, rock chucker.
So it is kind of nice. You can see back here to have a sizer and a cedar.
I just have one of everything. One powder dispenser. Somebody at Alabama walked off with a Charge Master, and I was like, man, I wanted that. And they were like, well, I needed a third one.
I mean,
Can't rush.
There's nothing wrong. Oh, wait, hold on. Can we see 3?
One of those is mine, and
Yeah.
I am getting it back tomorrow. Can you bring it tomorrow when we go shoot?
The truck is literally full to the top. I will see if I can find a spot to stick it.
You're killing me, Smalls. I
have barricades. I have targets. I have beer cooler. I mean, water to keep us hydrated.
So, Mark, talking about new shooters, and it sounds like you have kind of a passion for getting new shooters in, which I have the same passion. I love getting new people into this sport, and I'm not the best at it, but I know the fundamentals and I can tell people fundamentals. I just can't seem to do them myself. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's do as I say, not as I do, is kind of my theory right now. But I love getting new shooters into this. But if you had new shooters, what is the one piece of advice you would give them getting into it, whether it's don't buy this or do this first? What's the one piece of advice you would give to new shooters?
Take a training class. That would be my absolute first. You can want to do. It's kind of like learning to drive a car, if you may. You turn 16 years old, you've never been behind the wheel. Your parents put you in there. All right, take off. Well, you're like, what do I do? Even though you've seen it, you may have drove around the farm or something. It's a lot different than actually getting out on the road and doing. I would highly recommend taking a shooting class. If you do that, they will break down the fundamentals. They will show you the proper way to do something because, we're all have bad habits. Every single one of us have got some bad habit we wish we didn't do. And so if you go and take a class, that will give you a good foundation, to start with. And you can then take that and because, most of the time your class has got a whole lot of information thrown at you all at one time. Take good notes, ask tons of questions. And at the end of the day, when the class is over, go home and practice exactly, what you were taught in that class.
I think that's great advice. For twofold, a lot of new shooters get so caught up in the gear game, and I have to buy this, and I have to buy that, and I have to buy this, and I have to buy that. And I mean, you do have to have gear, but I always think it's more important to get fundamentals down than to just go buy. Like the first thing is be safe, right? And make sure that the safety of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is fundamentals, and then you can worry about gear. So I think it's huge to just work on the fundamentals first. And then I totally forgot where my second thing was. I was going,
And then have a glass of wine. I mean,
well, while you're talking about gear, a lot of guys, they've got a ton of gear. I see guys pushing these little carts and stuff around. They've got 15 different bags. They've got their tripods just decked to the max or whatever. The only thing I have is a Kestrel, a John Sneed special that goes on the side of your scope for your data card, and a special game changer that I had Tom and Melissa down at Armageddon Gear make for me. It is what they done is they took a wax canvas large game changer that was empty. They poured the sand that was in a schmedium into that. Then they filled it up the rest of the way with the beads, sewed it up. That way you can't take it apart. It won't leak. You don't have to worry about changing nothing. That bag is the only bag I use. No matter what barricade I get on, a windowsill, a rock, a door, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, that's the only bag I got. That way, when I get to a stage, if you get back, it's actually kind of funny. If you get back and watch a lot of other guys shoot, they'll walk up to a stage, and you can tell that little hamster upstairs is running. I'm talking going crazy. Someone's going to have a heart attack thinking so hard. He's trying to figure out which one of his 15 bags he's going to put out. Put where? Do I need a pump pillow? Do I need something under my leg? What size, bag do I need? What am I going to do? I've got one bag. That game changer will go anywhere. That way, when I walk up to the stage, I got to figure the only thing I'm thinking about is, am I going to turn my game changer sideways? I'm turning it up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the biggest question that I have. And I think a lot of guys spend more time practicing with your rifle. Practice reading the wind, practice seeing your shots and stuff. Get away from the gear, man. Get the bag that fits you. And like I said, man, the Schmedium is it's great. A lot of guys love it, but I like, more stability. And that's why I had Tom make me that, the large game changer. And he said, he had talked about it before. He's like, man, I've made one before. Nobody likes it. They're heavy. Yeah, well, when the PR started, everybody wanted a lightweight rifle too. And now if you walk up there and say, hey, man, my 308 weighs 15 pounds, they're going to look at you like crazy. And so, dude, get that bag, man. Get you one good bag or, two at the most. If it makes you feel better, get a warm fuzzy or whatever. But get away from the gear, man. Practice, more on your shots, reading the wind, reading the impacts, building your positions.
Yeah, I agree with you on the one bag thing. When I first started, I was trying out different bags. I'd bring like 5 bags with me to a match. The last several matches I've shot, I have used my full-size game changer for 99.9% of stuff. I have a fat bag because it helps a lot with me. You know, I'll sit on it, I'll stick it here, I'll stick it there. But I don't even use that much anymore. It's 99.9% nothing but that full-size game changer. I've been thinking about swapping over to a Schmedium because, like, the word Schmedium sounds awesome. But really, that one bag does everything for me.
Y'all crazy. I think my second point of that whole rant I was doing was that people don't want to take a class. They don't want to spend money on a class. And I think it's very valuable. But then they want to go to the class and they think it fixes them. And it doesn't fix you unless you come home and do the work after. So you could have the best instructor, and if you just go and spend 8 hours with them and then don't ever practice what tools they give you, because really a class is about giving the tools, right? And then you can work. So anyway, I may be guilty of that myself, but you know, it is.
I mean, you make a very good point. Like I said, about all the money that we spend, dude, I mean, you just write down, you know, everything that we have spent in this sport to go to a match. You pick one match, it's going to cost you $1,000 for a 2-day match, just in bullets, food, fuel, and hotel. Now, we're not talking about the $5,000 rifles that we have, or the $3,000 scopes that we have, and the gun cases, and the backup rifle. We can't forget that one. And all the reloading stuff, just everything as a whole that we have got involved into this sport. And so it's kind of like that's kind of like you decided that you're going to take up NASCAR. And we're going to buy you a brand spanking new NASCAR. We're going to give you all the fancy gear, the helmet, the air conditioner, and a little fancy water bottle that sticks up on top of your head. You know, got beer in one side or whatever. But yet you don't have a driver's license. You don't know how to drive. That's kind of the same concept here. How well do you really expect to do in that race, no matter what gear you have, no matter how nice? Dude, I've seen guys that's got the nicest, they got those tangents. What are they, like $5,000 or something? That You're right. My first vehicle cost like half that.
Literally,
you know, they got their rifles and all the equipment and stuff they got. And then they finish, like, you know, midfield or at the bottom end of the field, guys. Man, if you want to be a top level shooter, take a class, listen to what they say, practice it over and over and over and over and over again. I promise you, if you shoot 30,000 rounds in a year, you will be a lot better than you were if you had.
Very true. So Paul wants to know, he says, just tuning in, what A-tip bullet weight in the 308 and what barrel twist and length of barrel do you have to get to 2,800 feet per second?
Actually, I don't think I'm running more like 2780-ish, give or take. But I have a 28-inch Bartline barrel. It is a 1 in 10 twist. I shoot the 176 grain A-tips, and I'm shooting Varget. I'm thinking it's like 43 grains of Varget. Federal large primer 20 brass. That's my load.
There you go. Now everybody has got a pen and paper and writing that load down to go try and shoot it. That is funny. What action do you run?
It's one of George's. It's Templar.
Sweet. I think we talked about everything else. I was trying to think of what other gear did we not talk about that you have that everybody might want to know. Talked about barrel and brake.
Bushnell scopes.
Bushnell scopes. What trigger you run?
I use a Trigger Tech Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
Great choice.
I love mine.
Yes, ma'am.
Me too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That was still probably the funniest text I've ever sent in my life. I texted my girlfriend and said, "Hey, babe, I got a diamond." And then a little while later, sent a picture of the trigger. She responded back, "This is literally the most depressing text I've ever gotten in my life. Not what I was expecting."
I don't know how she still dates you.
Nor do I.
Oh,
I think it's because I have a big heart.
I am not even going to entertain that. Do you have any more lives?
So Christy said, "Stop putting a dollar amount on this. You're depressing me." And then Sunny said, "Exactly. I had to turn the volume down. Scared my wife might hear."
That is funny. Yeah, and Adam says most of the top guys could show up at a match with a factory RPR and still win a match.
And then Chad wants to know if you carry a first aid kit with you for when a little girl makes you bleed.
What little girl are we talking about?
Oh,
And who's Chad?
Chad
I might know
Glasscock.
the punch. I might know the punchline behind.
Ashton's dad.
Oh, dang. No, this is actually. So we was last year at Utah. Greg Moore, man, I love Greg to death. He's a great guy. The guy that goes around and takes everybody's fabulous pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But he took us out to dinner one night to a Mexican restaurant, and it was fun. I got a little tipsy or whatever, and started speaking Spanish to like the Mexican people there or whatever. Well, his little minion, I guess, didn't like that too well. So she started kicking me underneath the table like crazy. And then we ended up going back to the hotel room, and it was just like it's like a T-Rex on like a whatever T-Rexes eat, man. She come in there and just pounced on me. I was bleeding. I had drug blood all over the hotel walls in there because I was bleeding so bad. And I guarantee you that whenever they come in there to clean up the next morning, they're like, somebody's dead in this place. I don't know where, but we're going to find a dead body. I mean, it was bad.
That's hilarious.
I'm glad I'm not the only person to be bleeding in a hotel.
Are you talking about in Alabama?
Yeah.
I'm in my bed trying to go to sleep, and my phone's like, bzz, and I'm like, I'm not answering that. I'm trying to go to sleep. Bzz, goes off again. I'm like, who has texted me? I look, this one is like, I don't know if you were in your room or outside or what. He's like, my toe won't stop bleeding. Well, I don't know. All bleeding stops eventually.
I know, but I really want to go to bed. And I was sitting there for about 15 minutes at that point, wrapped my toe in paper towel. There's blood all over the patio, just like squeezing it.
Yeah, whatever. I've had bigger scratches on
my
eyeball.
Elevate it.
Never mind. I'm going to be quiet.
Oh, any more lives? I think that's all on the lives.
Nope, I think we're good.
I think we're good too. I think we can wind this down to shout outs. You want to hit it, Greg?
Sure. I'd first like to thank GSL Suppressors. At one point in time, they're going to make this rifle here a lot more civilized, as well as my little 22. I got 2 cans sitting in jail at Crack Shop Pawn and Firearms in Thompson, Georgia. Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta are 2 local ranges. PDC Custom for pretty much the most beautiful rifle chassis known to man. They are available in lime green and normal human colors. Phone Scope, the ultimate training aid. Also, if you just want to look really lit for the gram, you can make some cool videos there. Shooter's World Powder. Lots of people are like, oh my God, I can't find my target. Dudes, get some Shooter's World Precision Rifle Powder. Almost the same thing, except for it's cheaper and shoots exactly the same. Hunter's HD Gold, because I am blind as a bat and my hobby is shooting things very far away, so it helps me see that. And Vortex to keep your rifle nice and clean.
Sweet. Mark, you got any shout outs you want to give?
I don't know if I've got any more to add than what I've already done. I just want to tell all my sponsors and stuff that I'm eternally grateful for everything they've done. Hornady, GA Precision, Bushnell, Manners, Tom over at Armageddon Gear, Hoppies, my little Kokomo, RCBS, Bartline Barrels, Trigger Tech guys, APA, Southern Cerakote, my man Kent. I love all them guys, man. And truly without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I do and have the results that I do. And so, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I truly am grateful for the opportunity and for everything that you do. And I'm also very thankful for Miss Jennifer and Mr. Greg for having me on the show. I appreciate it very much. I hope that it was better than the last time I was on the show. Crickets.
I mean, it was like I was going to name you Casper because you ghosted me.
You ghosted the
Yeah,
Jennifer
I've got
Seymour.
several text messages that said that.
I was like, well, he's not showing up. And then Christy texts me and is like, why are you not live yet? And I'm like, well, the guest of the hour is not here. And she was like, what? Hold on. I'm going to find him. I was like, dude, I've tried calling him and texting him through Facebook and nothing. So it was funny. She was trying to find you. It's pretty entertaining, but that's all right. I forgive
Yeah, that's
you.
old Mama Bear there. Her and Melissa try to keep us in order.
Oof, that's a lot of work.
They got their hands full with that group, for sure.
Well, you know, we make them earn it, but we keep them honest,
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show and spending 2 hours with us on a Tuesday night. I know everybody's busy and you have ammo to load and stuff every night. So I know that's a lot of time. So I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank my sponsors, McMillan Stocks, Night Force Optics, GSL Suppressors, Prime Ammo, because I'm not going to reload for the Gap Grind. It's amazing just to go take my ammo and put it in the box. That's excellent. That's all I got to do. Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta, HD Gold. I should have been wearing my HD Golds while I moved, apparently, because I tried to poke my eyeball out with the Christmas decoration, but that's okay. We won't talk about that.
That was after you tried to burn the house down, right?
Hush. I'm trying to remember what else.
Under.
Because I just moved, I don't have my list. What'd you say? Oh, Under Industries and Warren Scope Mounts for awesome scope mounts and bipods. And I said Night Force. Yeah, I think that's going to be off for tonight. I don't know. Anyway, we appreciate everybody joining
about
us.
Your daughter.
About my daughter?
The one crawling on the wall behind you.
Oh, don't say that. I had a roach earlier, y'all. Probably from the boxes from moving, because my boxes were in storage for a month. It's not okay. Look, I'm going to be asleep, and I named her Gertrude because I couldn't find her, and she went into my linen closet, and I emptied my linen closet and never found her. I'm probably going to be asleep and wake up, and Gertrude's going to be on the pillow staring at me, and I'm going to scream like a girl.
No, she's going to be on your face.
Don't say that. It's not funny. I'm going to have nightmares about a damn roach crawling in my mouth. It's not okay. Anyway, I'm never going to sleep tonight. Thanks, y'all.
Welcome.
I'd almost forgotten until Mark brought her back up.
It wasn't even me. This is great.
Not my friend, Mark. Not my friend. Anyway, so I guess that will wrap it up for episode 311 with the infamous Mark Cooper, aka Casper the Ghost. We'll see y'all next week.